What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, another episode of Work on Wednesday, but also an insight in my trading. So let's get started. All right, so before I dive into Work on Wednesday and giving you the homework to become a better trader, I want to dive into this setup, not because it was a winner, but because it can teach you guys something. So let's dive into it now. Let's go to the hourly time frame to get a bit of a, let's go to the 4 hour, that's a bit clearer. So I entered a long trade on the red line. My stop was below this wick and this green line was my target. Now, my target is always based on a statistical target. So it's not based on price action, but it's based on something I've backtested that is very mechanical. However, it did line up with market structure as this was the range high. My entry was over here and my stop was here. So it lined up with the range high. So I had a lot of confidence in the target. The stop went below the wick because if we go to the hourly time frame, we can see a clear Wyckoff accumulation range over here. And this is the last bit of structure made before the breakout that we had. Let me clean this up a bit. So to me, this is break of structure. This is the last bit of structure made before the breakout. And if price does come back to retest, this is still an area to retest. And I don't want to have my stop in the way. And just based on the hourly time frame, this is the significant candle to place my stop below. So I placed it below. Essentially, it's the spring. So I placed my stop below the spring and my target was that green line, the high of the entire range. Now, my entry was over here. So after we had the entire breakout of these two structures, and then as you can see, we retested the area and we went up. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, I expect something like this. And then my ultimate targets being hit. I had a lot of confidence in the trade. And if we go to my statistics, I've written it down here, 67% chance of hitting target. Here's the data for my pair, back tested it all the way back to 2010. So again, a lot of data, 67% chance of hitting target. With a 1-to-1, bit higher than 1-to-1, but it's the odds of winning were way higher than the odds of losing. So I had a lot of confidence. But if we go back and see what happened, price just went all the way down, almost hit my stop loss. It just did not break that low. And as long as it doesn't break the low, my setup is still valid. So I've been holding my trade from here, being well into profits, all the way down to almost hitting stop, then went back up, range. And I've been in this trade for a long time, guys. Look at this, all this ranging I set to the trade during this, and then it hit target. So I've been in the trade for, let me check. So from around here, 15th of December to 13th of January. So almost 1 month of being in profits, stop almost hit, ranging, target again, almost hit here, then back again in drawdown, finally hitting target. And as you can see, why I like this target, because as soon as the range high got taken out, we now are collapsing. What's the point of this? Confidence, guys. I knew before I entered the trade where my trade idea was wrong, which is here. I also know that I don't manage my trades. So during this period, I was just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. And this really shows you that if you have confidence in your strategy, if you know where your trade idea is wrong, you can just sit through all this. I didn't have any emotions during this period. I was just like, dude, just hit target or stop loss. But don't keep fucking around for so long. But I didn't do anything. I just sat there and I wait and I wait and I waited until my target got hit. So know where you are wrong on your trade idea and then stick to the plan that you have tested and that you have written down, because as you can see, it paid off. It hit target. And if I was like, oh, I'm going to cut my trade here, it's going to hit stop anyway, then I missed out on a winning trade. Stick to the plan. If you've tested it well enough and you know it works, just stick to the plan and don't fuck around because it looks like shit. Yes, it did look like shit, but it did hit my target. And I was just waiting, patiently waiting until target hits. I don't manage my trade, so it's either stop or target. And if I would manage my trade, I would also have gotten out earlier. So another tip right there, test if managing your trades is the best thing to do. And now with this out of the way, let's dive into today's presentation. Work on Wednesday, episode 3. Today's question: what is preventing you from making money trading? Sounds like a question that you're like, oh yeah, it's this, it's that, my psychology is shit. But really, what is preventing you? And I think the best way to answer this question is to close your computer, sit in an empty room with a notebook, and just think about it. Write down the question on paper and think about the reasons why you're not making money. Because if you're not distracted by your screen, by your candles, by your Facebook, by big booties on Instagram, if you're not distracted, that's when your brain is going to work. And that's when the right answers will come up. So just take, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, write down the question and think about the possible reasons why you're not making money and write them down. And then after this hour of thinking without distractions, you basically have all the reasons why you're not profitable. And then step by step, you can go to each answer. So let's say you wrote down psychology, then you can think about, all right, why do I have psychological issues in trading? How can I fix it? And then when you fix it, go to the next thing. My strategy isn't performing very well. All right. How can you fix the strategy? What can you do to become better? This really sounds boring as fuck, but it will really, really, really help you. And not many people do this. Most people are just distracted every single day, doing the same thing, drawing the lines on the chart, but never really asking like, why do I keep losing money? And what can I do to turn it around? Hopefully you take action on this, because this is this week's lesson. It sounds like a question that you probably already know the answer to, but if you take the time to really sit without distractions, I promise you this will help you. I also do this in my real life when I feel like I'm not in line with myself, or when I feel like my emotions aren't the way they should be. Like, for example, when I just feel like shit, lazy, I just sit without distractions. I close everything off. I put the paper in front of me, and then I just think about like, all right, why have I been feeling like shit for the past few weeks? What is wrong? What are the things that bother me? And I just write it down. And then after an hour, I have so much clarity about my life and things that bother me. But if you never just sit still and ask yourself the difficult questions, you will never get the answers and you will never progress in life. When I started doing this in my real life, I made huge progress. I'm more healthier mentally. I have more energy. And the same thing with trading. When I really started to ask myself the difficult questions, that's when change happened, guys. It's always, you know what you need to do. You know the difficult shit that you need to do. You know what you're avoiding. And really sitting still and asking yourself the questions and then doing it, that's just where the growth is. In real life, with business, in your social life, if you're socially anxious, those type of things, it's all in the things that you are running away from or distracting yourself from. These are the important things. These are the important questions. So good luck this week. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'm there to help you out. And then I wish you a great trading week. See you in the next video.